the real world. What's going on? Why are these men looking at me?
Yeah, they're also staring at me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Cracklex. And get ready to dive into a world of laughter, glamour, and a few unexpected hiccups. Today we have the blooper reel of the highly anticipated Barbie movie. Get ready for a barrel of laughs as we bring you the funniest moments from behind the scenes. Let's get started. All jokes aside, but you knew that working with Ryan was Barbie's dream one day. I mean, who wouldn't want to work with him, for one, the actor has an incredible sense of humor.
So that's why I wanted to work with Ryan. Also, I found the other day in my special box a list of things to do before I died, and on that list, and I'm actually not kidding, meet Ryan Gosling was on that list.
Really?
Yeah, it's okay.
I've always wondered what could motivate people besides money to star in a movie, but fortunately or unfortunately, I'd already found out the answer to that question.
You have to do this, and I said, I will give you a present every single day if you come do this movie. And I think that was the deal clincher. I think that's how.
I was like, puka shells?
Yeah.
The sequence with the funny battle involving Olive Kane is one of the funniest in the film. Throughout the whole course of filming, that was one of the more challenging scenes to capture on camera. There were hundreds of people moving in accordance with predetermined plans. Ryan and Samuelia, without a doubt, were the two people that were the most important. However, the other characters in the situation require instructions on what they should be doing while the film is being shot.
Why are you beat yourself off? You're gonna beat both of us off?
Nobody's gonna beat anyone off.
Because of this, the scene had to be shot many times in order to be finished. Regrettably, there were instances when they had to begin from square one, which meant they had to first clean up the entire mess before beginning again. Definitely one of the most difficult tasks.
Oh, looks like this beach was a little too much beach for you, Ken. If I wasn't severely injured, I would beat you off right now, Ken.
By the way, I heard that many people was talking about Kenergy, and I asked it myself, what is it? But the problem is that even Ryan doesn't know what it exactly is.
So I don't know, but hopefully if this film, the conversation starts, we can start sort of funding it and really finding out, like, what is Kenergy?
Yeah.
Robbie's co-star in Barbie could disagree with you on this point, considering that he can't stop fawning over her, and the fact that the two of them have wonderful chemistry, which was evident not just on the set.
Margot's like the real Danny Ocean. She's just like putting these heists, like films together. And
However, even throughout their interviews, the actors frequently teased and joked with one another.
It was very NSYNC or Five when we do like this move to the front. That felt very boy band to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You didn't find that?
Well, how does the move go again? What move?
After all of this torture, the Ken don't even have a place to call home, whilst the Barbies all have magnificent houses at their disposal. You may be curious as to what the Ken get up to during the night, and Margot has a theory to explain it.
You know, just like accommodations, really, like a place to stay at night. We're still not sure what happens to the Kens when the Barbies go home.
Yeah.
We think they huddle on the beach for warmth.
To make things even more painful, the actress who plays Barbie frequently has sleepovers. However, despite the fact that they invited the Kens to come along with them, the actors weren't permitted to stay for the night. Ryan put on an act as if he didn't give a damn about what was going on around him.
Ryan couldn't make it,
Didn't want to sleep over anyway.
and so instead
Had other things to do.
he sent a singing telegram
What am
for
I,
us.
10? I'm not going to.
It was difficult to capture when Barbie and Ken were skating around in their glittery outfits because it was distracting to the camera. That was one of the first scenes that was filmed before the cast moved to the studio in London to continue filming the remainder of the scenes. The scene was filmed on a beach in California, and the majority of the people that were seen going by weren't actors or extras, they were just regular folks. However, when an incredibly brazen man snatches Barbie without her permission, she reacts quickly by punching him squarely in the face with a punch that is well aimed. She has the look, the smile, and the body of a real-life Barbie, doesn't she? It's tough to argue against the fact that Margot Robbie is the right choice to play the iconic doll. It might appear as if tiny Margot's fantasy of having everything in her room be pink come true, but it didn't. Margot didn't even have her own Barbie when she was a kid. She never received one of them.
But my sister definitely did, and I wasn't allowed to touch them. And my cousin had, a box of Barbies, and we played with that. Yeah, she was not messing around.
You guys cool now? Or?
She was only allowed to play with the dolls her cousin, so is this why she took the role in the first place? Just looking at the trailer, you can tell that the cast had a lot of fun. Unsayed, and the glimpses that we see of the Barbie and Ken characters, they did a pretty solid job at making it believable.
Dark ones are great because they can hide your sadness. You never want to risk bumming Barbie out. That's also why you have a second pair that are mirrored so you can reflect Barbie's greatness, because that's really your job. And she can use them to put on lipstick while you hide your sadness.
And it's always fun to watch the cast of any movie when they do the puppy interview with BuzzFeed.
Actually, the auditioning process for us was pretty chill.
It's trouble.
Oh, he just peed.
And this really does seem like an interesting storyline, and something to be expected from a Barbie movie because the character or doll was created with a standard everything pink living in a mansion at the start. So going back to reality or something that is deemed normal in our world, it would be interesting to see how Barbie would react in this situation.
Well, mine would be just hanging with my family, but I was thinking that Ken's would be if Barbie dropped something and she didn't notice it, and he got to pick it up and say, "Hey Barbie, you dropped this." She'd be like,
Thanks, Ken.
"Oh my God, what a day that would be."
Also, Barbie has her own Barbie that the team made throughout the making of the movie. There are all the Barbies in different styles and even poses like the original movie. So Margot Robbie, who stars as the world-famous doll, couldn't get enough of her mini-me.
She was not
Are you guys
messing
cool
around.
now, or
We got past
Still,
that. It's a sore
is this
subject.
like just a giant revenge?
This is
strategy
that's all
of
this
yours?
movie is getting back at my sister.
Get back at the family.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the
You're not
dancing?
gonna invite her to the premiere?
No way.
Checkmate.
Can we talk about the dancing in this?
Can we please?
The dancing
It's incredible.
is incredible. You're a dancer. You're a dancer too. From Babylon.
That's the nicest
Once
thing
Upon a
you've
Time
ever
in
said to
Hollywood.
me.
Dude, can I tell you something? Can I tell you what it took me back to? It took me back to your MMC days.
What's MMC?
The Mickey Mouse Club. I wanted to be on that
Oh.
show so bad.
Imagine how I felt.
Really?
We've all seen how Barbie and Ken relate one-to-one, but how do they really relate?
Margot's like the real Danny Ocean. She's just like putting these heists, like films together.
And here's Margot's answer.
I just really I love working with Ryan, and even before working with Ryan, I thought I think we're gonna work, and because some actors you're like, I love you as an actor, but maybe your methods of working don't.
Write in the comments what kind of gift you think Ryan received every day. I already have the answer, and I will tell you at the end of the video. In addition to gifts, Ryan also received beautiful blonde hair, and a lot of people had a question. How long did it take you to grow your hair like that? Or how did you get that hair color, or is it VFX effects? And of course he answered that question.
It did. It actually, it's all kind of a blur. There was so much bleach involved that I don't remember much about the experience. I'm just kind of piecing it together now. It
That was
came
a
with
lot of
one hell of a
peroxide.
hangover.
Yeah.
And of course, how could I leave you without answering the most important question of all? How does a Barbie make tea?
I do the milk after. I know this is a big thing. My husband and I have this argument often. So like
It's a-
tea bag in, hot water, then I do a spoonful of honey. I mix that around, leave it for a little bit, take the tea bag out, then I do the milk, stir it, done.
Barbie's secret of how she makes tea is already known to everyone, but did everyone know that as soon as the movie came out, it was flooded with memes?
I've seen a lot of them, and they are, because my friends screen grab and send them to me, and it's, people are so clever, people who come up with those funny.
But it seems like everyone already knows the memes. But not Ryan.
I love all the ones where it's like the cast of like Goodfellas or whatever being like, tickets to Barbie, please. All those ones really tickle me as well.
Beautiful.
What's a meme?
However, that didn't mean Ryan had a bad sense of
Do
humor.
you think this film will have in your top 10 I've never looked more ridiculous in my entire life moments?
No, I've looked pretty ridiculous.
I've looked very
my entire life.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Gotta give me that pie.
One of many most memorable scenes in one of Barbie's favorite scenes is where she goes down the slide. However, even here it's not that simple.
Were you on little skateboards?
Yeah, kind of.
You look, and I say this with love, so ridiculous.
Yeah. It was so fun.
As promised, here are the gifts Ryan received each day from Barbie.
Shells, beach-related things, horse mats, horse books. I mean, this film was the great present, the first present of a series of presents.
And then I gave you a lot of silly
And then my,
things.
yeah.
It was nice to see these stars in such an unusual incarnation. Their behavior proves that even the most famous actors can get into funny situations. And they also show once again that celebrities can also be funny and not be conceited by their status. Thank you all for watching. Put a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to not miss more of the such content. See you very soon, guys.